Welcome to DayZ. For a lot of newer players, DayZ can feel like a KOS simulator. From the moment you spawn, you feel like you're swimming with sharks. You can't communicate to these things. You can't get through the barriers that they've set in between you, so you avoid them actively. Because of this, when you do run into someone, you're tense. You're very unnatural, reasonably so, because your experiences have told you you need to be on edge. So you are, and once again, the person shoots you as soon as they get the chance, and you go, I knew it, I knew it. In DayZ, time is currency, and that's a really important concept to understand. Because there is no unlocking a new t-shirt or getting a new skin for the BK-18, the only thing that we have to connect us to our experience in game, to our survivor, is the time that we've had alive with them. As a result, the more time we invest into our survivor, the less willing we are to chance our survival on a random stranger. For example, if you've just spawned in and you see somebody, you're not going to be stressed about them killing you. You've wasted literally 0 seconds of your life on this character. Versus, if you've been playing for a week and you see a player in the northwest corners of Chinars and they are equipped to the max, and you see a plate carrier SVD, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is the moment I trained for, right? Time is currency in this world. And we have to have an understanding of that the more time someone invests, reasonably so, the more stress they're going to be about betrayals or KOS. So we set up defenses. We put barriers in between us so we don't get hurt again. We start KOSing and we think, now I control the cards, and the cycle continues. There are a lot of things we can do to minimize an interaction's chances of going hostile. So today, my goal is to give you guys all of the tools that I've used over my 7,000 hours of experience in the game to kind of manipulate interactions' best chances of going positively for us. Let's get into it. In DayZ, you can die to one bullet. So if you see another player first, you at that moment have the ability to interact with them or take a shot at them. Whoever spots the other player first essentially decides how the interaction is going to go. If you spot someone and you walk up to them, it's important that you control the interaction. What I mean by this is you say hello to them when they don't know you're there. What this does is the other player is going to recognize, oh my goodness, I don't know where this person is, and they're talking to me. They didn't have to do this. They could have just shot me. And that alone sows a little seed of trust in most people's mind. I'm not going to say every single person is going to process that and think that in the moment, but more times than not, if you had an opportunity to shoot somebody and instead you talk to them and you're talking to them in this moment with maybe 2 walls in between you, that's my rule, by the way. I always try and keep 2 walls in between me and the person I'm talking to so I could get a feel for who they are. But when I'm talking to them, they don't know where I'm at, right? That's very important that they don't identify that I'm in that building, because then it becomes an even contest. I don't have control over the interaction if he knows I'm in the red house and I'm shouting at him across the street. But if he doesn't know where I'm at and I am saying, hey man, how you doing? How's your day been so far? I am in control of the interaction in a way that sows a seed of trust.
What is trust
in this other person. And also, when you are talking to these people now, because you're in control of the interaction, you could decide whether or not you trust this person. So controlling the interaction, spotting the player first, is literally the most important part of making friends in DayZ. Don't be paranoid. I know this is really easy to say, but in that first interaction that we talked about, let's say you spotted the other player first and you controlled the interaction. You put 2 walls in between you guys. All the good stuff. My cat is sitting on my keyboard right now. Okay, well, let's say you did all these things, okay? If you came at them and your voice was like, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Just please, no guns. Don't put your guns out. Come on, man. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. I don't want to have to. If you were talking like this, how do you expect the other person to feel, right? Versus if you're approaching them with a calm tone and you're just trying to talk reasonably to them, it's going to be received in a way that's not threatening. But if you're tense, your adversary is also going to be tense. And if you're calm, this other person is going to have an opportunity to be calm with you. And that's the difference maker, I think, more times than not. When we do approach someone, we are so caught up in the moment and the stresses that we're feeling that we aren't natural. We aren't ourselves. It's like we're talking to a crush, but in a very different context. We just can't perform like a normal human being because something is consuming our mind in a way that's putting us through a riddle. You know, we can't think straight. So when you approach someone, think of this. If you were them, do you think your tone would make you calm? Are you talking to them in a way that is allowing them to judge you properly, as well as letting you judge them properly?
You all right? You sound not so good. Sick, friend? Or just hurt? Sorry, don't mind my stomach grumbling.
Yeah, I had gotten infected by zombies. Do you have Tetra or a disinfectant? I got food. I can give you some food here.
I really don't. I just spawned on the other side of that lake and worked through the military base without much to find. Other
Okay,
than
well there's
yeah.
food right there for you. Something to help you.
You sure? I'm
Yeah,
happy.
This was an actual admin cam perspective into an interaction and how they can go. I know sometimes we're so deep in the pit of negativity that we forget that sometimes our tone can decide a lot. Be yourself. Yeah, sure, nobody likes you. We get it. Nobody likes me either. But here I am on YouTube. Everyone thinks negatively upon themselves. Shut that up. Be yourself. It doesn't mean every person you come across has to connect with you. It doesn't mean one person you come across isn't going to be mean to you. That's okay. You're not looking to befriend every single person at the bar. You're just looking to befriend that one person that vibes with you. So don't fake who you are. Don't be something that you think someone else is going to want to interact with. Be yourself and make your experience enjoyable. If you are not having a good time in the game, the person that you're having a run with is also not going to be having a good time in the game. And oftentimes what leads to our being betrayed, I think, is our own bitterness about the game, our own bitterness about the situation, or a disagreement about something. Just be yourself. And if that person betrays you, don't think so coldly on it. Think of it more so, that's not a person that I vibe with. I need to find someone that does. When you do see a player, I think a common mistake people do is they rush to the interaction. And this is an easy way to get shot. You can't let someone know that you're friendly from across the field when you have a gun in your hands, right? They're going to see you even if you're waving and they're going to think that guy's geared. I'm gonna shoot at him. People are looking for more opportunities to shoot, generally speaking, than they are to interact with people. What this means is when we do see someone and we are trying to control that interaction, we have to put our safety as a priority always. If we are running through a field and we see someone running into a town and we're very exposed, before you just run straight beeline to them, maybe you process, okay, how can I get to them and get as close as possible without compromising myself? I think oftentimes when we're thinking about making friends in the game, we're like, okay, this run, I'm going to try and make a friend. And then we throw all the other logic in regards to survival out the window and we just prioritize that. Just because you're trying to make friends doesn't mean you can act in a way that isn't tactical. Interact early on. When you do join a full server of official DayZ at least, and you die, you're going to be spawning right next to other players. Talk then. Find a friend. There's going to be a bunch of them running around. People are dying left and right on official DayZ. When you interact early, both you and the other person meet on a level playing field. You guys both have nothing and you're trying to become something. Granted, sometimes this means that the relationship doesn't have much to stand on and someone will just break away and run away easily in the beginning. It happens to me all the time. And plenty of people watch my videos and go, wow, I'd really love to run with him. But plenty of people don't want to run with me when I come across them in game. It happens all the time. Essentially, when we run into someone early, it is 100% certain that we both have the same goal right now. Get some food, get some water, get some gear. We're all looking at the exact same trajectory. So because of this, it gives us an opportunity on the way to that to find out a little bit more about our friend and understand what their goals are and see where those meet up with our own. Make sure your mic is at least decent. I can't tell you how many people I've been running with and they seem like really cool people, but their mic, it sounds like a carnival is behind them or a house is being demolished. If you are looking to buy a mic, get a mic with a feature that is called cardioid. This allows all of the audio to be captured right in the face of the mic, so it doesn't capture the rest of the room. And it's something that in general just makes for a much better audio. The second part of your mic being good is not using voice activity. And a lot of people like voice activity, and I totally get it. It is very convenient, but it is a pain for other people that are playing with you very often if you do have a lot of background noise. And what I mean by this is, let's say the kids are yelling in the background, or the wife is, or the husband's yapping about something. Whatever's happening in the background, at a point, it becomes endearing. But that point has a limit. Alongside this, it risks your survival all the time. So you and your partner are at risk of your kids screaming in the background and then someone hearing you that's 2 doors down. I understand not everyone has $1 billion to spend on a mic, but it really doesn't cost that much. And there are a lot of really good options that are like $50 to $100. And it will make a world of difference in your experiences in the game. Ask people their name. I can't tell you how valuable this is. When you very first start controlling the interaction and they're in that same building and they don't know where you are, and you say, "Yo, man, what's up?" And they go, "Yo, what's up, man?" The first thing you need to say is, "What's your name, bro?" This puts a personal connection between you two. They can choose to lie, and a lot of people do. I lie. I don't say my real name. And that's perfectly fine, as long as there's a name that associates you with them. Whenever I come across someone and I very first start running with them and we just interacted, I try and say their name too much. And this is a sort of trick that I personally have used a lot. If you say someone's name a lot, they're going to acknowledge that you are spending brain capacity on them. It's like something underneath the layers of thought that are on the front of our brain. We're not thinking about it. But we are identifying when someone calls me CamCANTRUN over and over again, I'm identifying that this person knows who I am. And it takes a little bit of that lack of accountability that's in DayZ, and it reinforces it and puts it a little bit back. That's not saying someone's not going to betray you. But ultimately, if you know their name, you can look back and say, Frank is a piece of garbage. Understand where you are on the map. If I'm in Mogiledevka, I may be able to interact with someone without too much stress. If I'm in Zelenogorsk military, there's going to be stress omnipresent, right? The zombies feel stress there. Identify where you are and act accordingly. Maybe if you see someone in a military area, wait outside of the military area. If you are looking to interact with someone and you just rush into Northwest Airfield 10s, like a very heavy trafficked area, or let's say Vybor Industrial, you're going through these areas that are associated with big loot. The people there are going to, one, have an opportunity of having really deadly equips. And on top of that, they're going to be thinking other people also do. So they are on edge, my friend. It's really important when we are approaching someone in a very tense area that we identify to them that we understand it is a tense situation. Hey, bro, I don't mean to run up on you. I know it's Zelen military. Like, this is something that can endear and make some human connection to another player that's across the world, possibly. We all are out here stressing pretty much after we leave the coast. Some of us right when we spawn. So when you come across someone, be able to identify the location that you're at and kind of connect that with how much tension they probably have going on. If we understand the circumstance of DayZ and we understand the difficulties of the game better, we are going to then understand other people's plight and be able to connect with them through that plight better. Get good. Get good. Get better at the game. If you are struggling and starving to death and you're trying to make a friend, that friend sees weakness, my friend. It's a brutal reality, but if you have everything in order and they say, yeah, I'm just starving to death right now, and you could give them some food, they are essentially looking at you and being able to identify, hey, this person has some value to me at least because they just helped me right now. I wonder what else they can help me with. But if you are struggling and you're on the edge of your seat and someone else is struggling too, the likelihood that they're going to sacrifice that for you is just a little bit lower. It's not zero, obviously. I've had plenty of people help me for no reason at all, to no benefit of their own, and maybe even they sacrifice a great deal of equip to try and keep me alive, and then ultimately I die. It's not saying that can't happen as well, but the reality of the situation is that if you are on top of your P's and Q's and you have everything regulated and you come across someone else, they are going to very quickly be able to identify this person knows what's going on. Just get good at the game in a way that allows you to control things. If I am struggling to survive, my ability to make friends is going to be lower. So first, understand how to survive by yourself, and then find a friend and make it along the way with them. With all this being said, DayZ is an always changing world. For 3 days straight, a server may be incredibly hostile. Just 2 hours later, it could be the friendliest server in the world. I think most importantly, we should aim to not judge the new people that we are seeing by the experiences we had from the people that we saw. And that goes for all areas of life. I think there are idiots and good people surrounding us at all times. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. We have merch now. If you're interested, it'll be linked down below. And also we have a server for new players to play on and a hub in the Discord for people to connect with players, be it on console or PC. Thank you so much for watching. Be good to each other out there. Or don't.